Video Fort Nation, what up? I'm Magic Bard, and for today I've got a fun little tutorial, movie magic type stuff that I found on the Two Venezolanos Instagram account. They did this trick. I thought it was really cool, so I'm going to show you a tutorial how you can do it all in After Effects and with a basic camera. Anything that shoots HD will be great for the trick. But before jumping into this, if you're new to Video Fort, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon right next to it, so then you'll be notified whenever we have a new tutorial. Gonna be posting a lot of them within the next coming weeks. So if you want to up your visual effects game and become an epic visual effects master, maybe not master, but be really good at visual effects in After Effects, Premiere Pro, maybe even do a little bit of Photoshop, stay tuned. Gonna be a lot coming soon. And with that being said, let's jump into the tutorial.
Alright guys, so first let me show you how I shot this. I left the camera on a tripod, and then what I would do is move from one place to the other and have my hand pretend like it was drawing the other hand. So let me show you this. I'll fast forward just to show you. Okay, and the key to this is keeping your arm flat on the table when you are drawing, because when we mask out your arm, you're going to kind of do this diagonal mask down the arm, and that'll help blend it in. Another key which will help you in editing is wearing the same color as the paper, and it'll blend in, you know. And as you can see, this shot is overexposed, so my white shirt really blends in with the overexposed white. And then when you get closer to camera, try to keep your hand closer to the table, so not far up, because if I bring my hand up any further, that's going to create a problem with the other hands. So, you know, kind of staying low to the ground is good to go, and then that's how you shoot it. Let's dive into this and see if we can do this pretty quickly. So let's drag your clip, the one I just showed you, into a new comp and trim it down. So what we're going to do is find the shot of me drawing right here. Okay, so you trim, once you've trimmed your first clip, then all you have to do, since this whole thing is on one shot, just duplicate that. So Command D, and then find your next hand, which would be me drawing on the paper, just my hand. So I'm going to find that part and trim it down to that. And then I'm going to lay these shots on top of the other. So as my hand gets closer to the camera, that hand layer will be on top. So I'll just name this hand 02. Now do this for the rest of the composition. Create your layers and cut them down, trim them down. Okay, great. So once you've created all your layers with your hands, one on top of the other, you can really check them out by selecting all of them except for your bottom hand layer, which we can call this our hand main with actor. So you can select your top 5 layers and press T for opacity and drop it down to 50%, and then that way you can see all your hands lined up. Of course, my hand is in the way, but you can get an idea of what we're going for right here. So let's bring the opacity back to 100. And now what we're going to do is one at a time mask out the hands. So take the top 4 and let's turn the visibility off for them. And what we're going to do is mask out this hand right here. And so we can drop the opacity down to 50% just so we can see what's going on. So this is where I'm drawing the hand, and what I will do is turn off my phone, and I'll zoom in here and then create a mask only on the parts where I need it, and I'm going to create this diagonal mask. So I'm going to use the pen tool right here and just draw around it. Remember, make sure that it's selected, your layer of the hand, and then create this diagonal down right here. Okay, good. I can turn the opacity back up to 100% and see what we've got. And then the rest of this step has to do with finessing this mask and trying to make it look real. So right now, this hard edge isn't going to do us the job. So I'm going to open up the mask and turn up the feathering maybe to 15 pixels. That's too much. Try 8. Still too much. I'll go with 5. Okay, and then what I would do is mess with this mask until we've got what we want. Kind of like a slithering hand coming out here. Okay, cool. And then we can move on to the next hand. So then turn the visibility on for the next hand, and we'll work on this one. So bring the opacity back down to 50% so we can see the other hand and create our mask. Turn that opacity back up and start to mess with the mask till it looks like this hand is drawing in the arm of the hand in front of it. Okay, turn up that feathering and should be looking good there. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna fast forward and do all the hands right now. Okay, great guys. So once you've created all your masks for your hands, then the next step is trimming down all these clips. So the duration of this whole scene is going to be the duration of the shortest clip that you've done. So keep that in mind when you're filming this. If you want it to be 10 seconds long, 15 seconds, whatever it is, make sure that as you're filming your hands to do that every time. So I'm at about 11 seconds right here, so I'm going to trim all these clips down by selecting all of them and hitting or holding down the Option key and the N bracket tool. That'll cut them all down. We can also hit the N key on our keyboard to trim down our composition, and then right click, trim comp to work area, and boom, we're in there. And then these couple of clips up here, I'll just drag out or select them all, hold down Option and hit the beginning bracket. Okay, so we've got all of our hands in there, and then also remember, as you're shooting this, do not shoot your footage on auto white balance. I think I was shooting it at that, so that's why I had a couple of these were out of color, as you can see right here. And you can really finesse that to fix it, you know, make an extra to fix it. Like you can add some curves, add some coloring, or you can add another mask in there and make it a subtraction mask and really turn up the feathering so it blends in there more and it starts to go away barely. But what I would do is add some coloring to that. So once you've got everything all layered out, ready to go, I would select the whole thing, pre-compose it. So layer, pre-compose, and then I'd call it your edited hands. All hands on deck. Okay. Then what we're going to do is press P to open up the position, and Alt, hold down the Alt or Option key and click on that stopwatch, type in wiggle, parentheses 1, 30. So what that's going to do is add this expression called wiggle, where it'll wiggle your camera around so it doesn't look like the camera is on a tripod. It looks like someone was handheld filming you. And this means that it'll wiggle 1 times a second for 30 pixels. So it'll wiggle around 30 pixels every second. So hit enter on the keyboard. Oops, without that being selected. Hit enter. And that'll put that into place. Let's see, what is the expression error I have? Too many parentheses. Enter. Okay, now what we want to do is layer new null object. We're going to add a null object on here, and we are going to connect this to the null. Okay, now I shot this on a Sony a7S II, so my footage is in 4K, but I want to export it in 1920 by 1080 HD. So what I'm going to do is drop down these settings to 1920 by 1080. Okay, and then since this is connected to the null, I can scale it all down without having to mess with my composition scale, and make sure that it is fit in my composition, so as my wiggle moves around, you know, I don't show any black spaces behind and see empty space in my video. So I'm just double checking for that. Okay, good. Now what I want to do with this null object is I'm going to keyframe it and act as if this is a camera. So keyframe the scale, keyframe the position, hit P to open that up, press U to look at your keyframes, and let's kind of zoom in there to the beginning of our shot. So I think what we would do is go to me and then reveal what I'm doing. So let's scale up to 100%. We're looking at me, I'm drawing a hand, and then as the clip starts to play out, we can reveal that I'm drawing all these hands, and then kind of zoom out as we're moving around here. And I'm looking at all these hands, looking good. And guys, once you've done that, then you're done. Now you can export it and you're good to go. So, you know, export composition, add to render queue, and let me delete these guys for now. Go into your output module. I would export it as an H.264 if you're planning on putting this on Instagram or that kind of stuff, Facebook. Otherwise, if you need something more high quality, I would go with the Apple ProRes 422. HQ is the higher quality version. LT still looks incredible, but will take up less space on your computer, so I like to do that a lot more. It depends. And then you're really good to go. Saving, and click on here to save it to a specific folder. Press render when you're ready, and boom, we're done. Alright guys, I hope that last tutorial helped you out, and if it did, please leave us a like, leave us a comment, let us know if there are any suggestions you may have or any type of visual effects you'd like to learn, anything you may have seen on Instagram, Facebook, in the movies that you want to know more about, and hopefully we can do it in After Effects or Premiere Pro. I'll try to jump on it as soon as possible. I want to give a quick shout out to DJam, the Dutch producer, for leaving us some love on that advanced zoom tutorial I posted yesterday. Hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you enjoy that. This is Video Forward on Magic Bard, and I'll see you on the next one.